I'm an attorney here in Southern California. I am going live again, and this stream is about Trump's indictment again. That's the news today, and that's what I'm discussing. So let's check our streams, make sure everything's working well before we begin, because, normally when I do something like this, I usually get some loop feedback or doing something crazy, like I don't know how to run OBS, and things happen. But anyway, I'm an attorney. I'm in Southern California. My name's Alexander Napolin. I'm talking about the Trump indictment today. That's the big news. He's indicted again and again and again and again on a million counts, and everybody's interested in knowing everyone else's take on that. That's what's filling up the news cycle. I look on the news cycle, I say, what's big for today? And it's like Trump, 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 Trump. And maybe that's helping Trump get the word out that, hey, I'm a criminal. Or is it getting out that Trump's being persecuted for keeping documents and records that other presidents have already kept or have kept, like similar types of documents, right? So like if you're a president and you keep documents, how many documents can you keep? Is that a federal crime to keep a document? Well, apparently, according to the indictment, which I have right here, and I'm not going to go and specifically go to the section, but there is a section in this indictment where it is discussed that Trump specifically told other people that he did not declassify some of the documents that were in his possession. And it also appears that he may have told his lawyers to not produce those documents. Now, this requires that the grand jury analyze his communications with his own lawyer. Now, a lot of people that think that that's, well, is that attorney-client privileged? That's what I'm thinking. If you're going to have a lawyer helping you and you discuss things with that lawyer, that's generally privileged, right? Where's my little social share? Oh, there it is. You can find me right here. I'm going to put up a chat box here so that if you're in Twitch, you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, you can hop in, you can leave a comment, you can ask me a question about what I think about the legality of what Trump did. Now, I'm not, a presidential constitutional scholar. And, there are certain secret things that Trump shouldn't have kept. And why he shouldn't have kept those things is because they can damage the country. And it's once you're done with being the president, you're supposed to give those documents back to the archives. You're supposed to give them back to the people who are now then going to be entrusted with those documents for the next administration. So, should he have kept those documents? Would he have kept those documents if he had known he was going to be indicted? Yes. I think that he wanted to keep those documents because he felt that he was entitled to them, or he wanted to get indicted so that this could boost his popularity and get into the news cycle again. I don't know how much it's boosting his popularity, but some people that I speak to who are forever Trumpers, we'll call them, they believe that Trump is being persecuted. They believe that this is an attack on Trump, that this is weaponization of the Justice Department, that all of these subpoenas and all of these requests are bogus, and that they're just attacks on Trump because of how vile of a person he is. No, actually, they don't think that. They don't think he's a vile person, even though he is. They think that he's being attacked because that's what the political left, those on the left, are doing to him, weaponizing the Justice Department, etc. And that's what he campaigns on. So that's the main thing in the news today. I talked about Biden being sandbagged, falling over on Monday. I talked about that, and I got a lot of views on my stream. So I was like, well, maybe I need to talk about something political. Maybe I should talk about the Trump indictment. The Trump indictment. That's what we're talking about today. That's the live stream that I have. That's what I'm discussing. It says on January 17th, nearly 1 year after Trump left office, and after months of demands by the National Archives and Records Administration for Trump to provide all missing presidential records, Trump provided only 15 boxes which contained 197 documents with classified markings. On June 3rd, in response to a grand jury subpoena demanding the production of all documents with classification markings, Trump's attorney provided to the FBI 38 more documents with classification markings. Then on August 8th, this is after he's done being president, pursuant to a court-authorized search warrant, the FBI recovered from Trump's office and a storage room at Mar-a-Lago Club 102 more Mar-a-Lago Club 102 more documents with classified markings. So, these documents, does the president have the right to keep them? Does the president have the right to withhold them from the National Archives and Records Administration? Well, I think the argument has been in the past that the president is the one who decides what's classified and what is not. He can declassify a document right there, right on the spot. I'm declassifying this. Is that a smart move? Should he do that? Is there a procedure to follow? There is a procedure that should be followed. And on these particular documents, the procedure wasn't followed. Trump had a co-conspirator. So this was Nata. He was a member of the United States Navy, stationed as a valet in the White House during Trump's presidency, and beginning in 2000. I'm reading directly from the indictment here. Okay, so let me just go back here because now you can see this. Defendant Nata, beginning in 2021, Nata became an executive assistant to the office of Donald J. Trump and served as Trump's personal aide or body man. Nata reported to Trump, worked closely with Trump, and traveled with Trump. Now at the Mar-a-Lago Club, he apparently moved like these boxes. You know, it's like, hey, move these boxes for me. Okay. Then it goes on to discuss all the different types of classifications and why those things need to be kept secret, damaging to the United States, etc. And that he retained them, and that's against the law. Now, there might be people out there who have opinions about this. Leave them in the comments. Ask me a question. The other exciting news for today was that Boris Johnson resigned. Boris Johnson resigned from Parliament. And that's not in the United States, but it's because he maybe lied about parties that broke COVID lockdown rules. You know, hey, we've had people who were breaking lockdown rules and got caught in California here. Right? Governor, you didn't resign. In fact, Newsom may run for president. I mean, he's doing this 28th Amendment thing. 28th Amendment is a new amendment that I saw Governor Newsom propose on Twitter just a couple days ago that basically would be a constitutional ban on assault rifles, create background checks, extensive background checks, and raise the age of who can buy a firearm, and maybe limit some other things about purchasing firearms. So, you know, Newsom is going full strength towards being a presidential candidate, in my opinion. Now, I'm not, a political commentary guy. I don't just live and breathe politics. I'm an attorney, but the 28th Amendment, maybe you have a comment on that. You're out there, you're watching this live stream. You say, hey, Alex, let's talk about the 28th Amendment. Let's talk about gun rights, and I'll answer your question. Other legal stuff, since we've gone through the main two stories that I chose, which is the Trump indictment again and Boris Johnson resigning. Now it's other legal stuff time. So if you're out there and you've been injured in an auto accident, you've been hurt at work, you're having a landlord-tenant dispute, you're having whatever it is going on, and it's a legal dispute, you want to discuss it, let's talk about it. It's fun. I'm a California lawyer. It's not legal advice. It's general information only. He lied about a lot during his tenure. I know, dude. That guy just looks like a big liar. Boris Johnson. Hey, thanks for commenting, Moronic Whistle. I really appreciate that you're involved in this chat on Twitch. So yeah, I mean, Boris Johnson resigned. He should have a long time ago. I agree. He lied about a lot of things. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you for adding that from the UK. So you guys agree over there. Boris Johnson, just good riddance, buddy. I think he created a lot of problems. I'm not quite sure, but I think that the UK did a lot trying to do that Brexit thing, from what I understand. I don't want to get into another country's politics. I have enough trouble here in the United States covering my own, but I wanted to add that in there because I felt like it was like, Trump being indicted, Boris Johnson resigning, and, he's out of there. Well, anything else? Anybody else watching? No. Okay, other legal stuff. I'm a personal injury lawyer. I'm sure they have personal injury in the UK. It's probably not as robust of an insurance industry as it is here. But, here in the United States. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he was involved in the Brexit thing. Yeah, it remains to be seen if that's actually going to be good or bad for the UK in the long term. Do you view it as a bad thing? It's a populist movement. Leaving the European Union. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Brexit, he was part of that whole thing. And I think that a lot of people, I think that was like really something that the country was divided on doing. And I don't think it was a very clean move from Europe. Well, anyway, over here we got Trump being indicted again. He's going to try to run for president. We got Mike Pence running for president. Now Mike Pence is going to run for president. I mean, you can't win presidency. You're Mike Pence. But it does say something about Trump's support. I mean, when Trump's picked Pence, I felt like he was bringing in, Christians and religion and, a whole area of people in the country. And that's why he chose Pence. But Pence is on his own. I mean, he doesn't have the ability to win. Chris Christie is jumping in the ring again. I would take an indicted. Look, it's not that I would take a Trump, but I would say that an indicted Trump has a better chance of winning the presidency than Chris Christie. Chris Christie? He can't make it. Anyway. More than 10 feet. It's a bunch of old. Look, I'm not going to go into it. You can say a lot of negative words. Like Biden's old. I wouldn't want to see him run 10 feet. He might fall. He got sandbagged. Somebody left a sandbag on his stage for him so he could trip on it. What do you think about that? Anyway, I don't know. I talked about that on Monday. I felt like that sandbag was just negligently placed. I'm a personal injury lawyer. It was discreet. It was down there. But at the same time, you got to be looking at where you're going. So from the perspective of a personal injury case, yeah, he fell. Like, it was at the Air Force Academy speech he gave. And, the media just jumped on it like hard on him. He fell again. And oh my God. And I turned it on, and of course Fox News has it up. Oh my gosh, Biden's fallen again. But I mean, anybody could have fallen there, in my opinion. And I just think that that's something that, happens. But, Biden's pretty old. Trump's old. Chris Christie's big. That's the joke about Chris Christie. People call him the F word fat. I don't like to say that, but I don't like to call people fat and old or anything like that. Anyway, okay, who else do I have on here? Okay, well, thank you for participating in my Twitch stream. I really appreciate that. I have you up on my, everybody's playing Diablo 4 now on Twitch. It's like, if you go on Twitch, it's like Diablo 4. And I played Diablo 2 when I was in high school because that's the game that was out. And dude, I played that game for like thousands of hours, Diablo 2. And I didn't play 3. A lot of people say, oh, 3 was better than 2. I was like, dude, no game in the history of mankind was better than Diablo 2 in my opinion. So you'd have to, it's a stretch to say Diablo 3 is better than Diablo 2 in my opinion. The way the quests are set up and the characters and the way everything worked on Diablo 2 and it's just a better game. But now I'm old and I got 3 kids, so am I going to be playing Diablo for 100 hours a week? No, I'll never get to play Diablo 4 all the way through like someone who's in high school or someone who has the time to play that all the way through. So I wouldn't know if it's better than Diablo 2 yet because I haven't played it. I looked at it. The graphics are pretty damn good. It's pretty cool. The real problem with Diablo 4, people are criticizing it. I know, right? Is Trump do you consider Trump a fat man? I was looking at him. He's kind of big. Hey, look, you shouldn't be, if you're like a professional person, in my opinion, you shouldn't be like doing that to another candidate. Like that's not necessary to do that to Chris Christie. Because I mean, come on. You can defeat them just on policies. Oh, thank you for following me. Yeah, so the Twitch thing came up. I've been doing these Twitch streams. I've done many of them. If you look at my profile, they ultimately, they just end up getting deleted. The Twitch streams only stay for so long, and then they're gone. And I've been looking at other people. Who's really big on Twitch is Hassan. Dude, this guy, he puts up something, and like, dude, he's just on there all day talking. There he is. Trump indictment. Oh, he put it here too. Trump indictment. Yeah, so he's talking about the same thing I'm talking about. But if you go over to this other guy's channel, there are like 40,000 viewers. He has 40,000 people watching him. And then later he'll go play Diablo 4 all night. That's all that he does. So I met this guy. He goes on Twitch too. I meet these Twitchers, and they're like, "Oh man, I make $100 million on Twitch." I was like, "I don't know if it's 100 million, maybe 100,000 you could make." So yeah, that's the Trump indictment. Now, what else do? I do workers' comp, but that's not for my viewer in UK. I don't know. Do you have workers' comp there? If you get hurt at work, you get benefits. Those benefits become disputed because the employer and the employee, it's like a marriage almost, And there's sometimes really deep feelings there about the employee's livelihood and that connection with the employer, and there's disputes. So in my state, in California, we have administrative law judges that look at those disputes and then award benefits. And there's a lot of disputes. So one of the things that I do as a lawyer here in California is I go to the workers' comp judges and I dispute benefits for the employee. And I make a small percentage of whatever's awarded. So a lot of people come to me, they hire me, they get a workers' comp attorney, and I bring a claim. Oh, look, I had a lady collecting state unemployment and also collecting temporary disability. She was calling her employer, a friend who worked for the employer, and she was telling them to certify her unemployment. But she was also at the same time collecting the money from the workers' comp insurance. And she did it for like a year. And then they found out. Yeah. That was pretty ridiculous. I think that's probably one of the most ridiculous things I've seen is somebody calling into the employer to a friend in order to certify their unemployment. Yeah. What else have I seen? Oh, one of my clients, I sent him to a doctor to help him get certified for state disability, which is the disability program we have here in the United States or in California. And he stole the Roku from the chiropractor's office, from the doctor's office, and they have it on video. So that was a pretty ridiculous thing that happened last week. And of course, the client doesn't, he stole the Roku. It was like a $20 Roku, and there was no remote to it. So I don't know if you know what a Roku is, if in the UK, if they call it something else, but it's basically just like a Fire Stick or like a Chromecast or something that you can plug into your television and get different apps on that television. What is the point? Well, so the doctor's office discharges him and won't complete his state disability paperwork. So he's all, like, my client's all upset at me for not getting his disability on. And I said, dude, you stole their Roku. We got to send you somewhere else. And I told him, I said, you can't steal anything else at the next place. Because, I can't just keep getting you different doctors and hoping you don't steal from them. I've had other cases where, a very common one is where the employee has restrictions and they don't abide by those restrictions. They go get other work while they're supposed to be on temporary disability. They get both at the same time. They're working and they're getting the temporary money while they're injured. I've seen that many times. They have something called Sabrosa, and it's basically video evidence. So it's an investigator goes out and watches the person there and takes video of them from their car, and then later on they say, hey, lawyer, we have video of your client while they're collecting disability from the insurance policy. We have video of them working on someone's roof. I had one where a guy was up on a roof working, and it was actually like a dormer window almost. Yeah, they're private detectives. So what ends up happening is when you get to the administrative law judge, they bring in the video and they play it in front of the worker. I have a trial coming up. It's like 1 day. That's how long it takes. Sometimes 2 days, because there might be witnesses and stuff and it takes time to get them together. But the whole trial could be done in 1 day. You have a couple witnesses. You enter the evidence on the record, and then usually at the very end of the day, we'll watch the video evidence, or we'll watch it the next day and finish it up. Sometimes it's pretty bad. Yeah. But what's crazy is that people, they don't want to accept that they were doing anything wrong. Jury duty on Amazon. Look, I represent a lot of Amazon injured workers because where I am particular in California, there's a bunch of Amazon warehouses because I live and work in the more the more outer regions of LA. So I'm like about 35 miles out from Los Angeles, even though I'm still, well, I guess I'm not in LA County right now but I live in LA County. And I see a lot of Amazon injuries. Now, we don't have juries for work injuries. Juries are for like personal injury cases, which I also do. I also do personal injury. So I'm also I'm also auto accidents, personal injury, and that's when someone outside of work negligently injures you, which means that I would sue an individual, but usually there's an insurance policy, like auto accidents, slip and falls in stores. Sometimes people are out there driving on the road and they're hit by someone. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Where are you from? Sometimes I'm like on the road and sometimes you're on the road, you're driving for work, and bam, you get hit. Oh, well, maybe it's morning for you in Poland. It's 4:21 in the afternoon where I'm in California. Oh, it's a show. Okay, it's a show where they get someone to do jury duty, but everyone else is an actor, and they use that to mess with them. It's a funny show. I'll check it out. I'll look it up. Jury duty on Amazon. Oh, jury duty. Okay, it's just on Amazon. Yeah, I misinterpreted that. Sorry. So, yeah, I'll check that out. But yeah, suing Amazon. I'm from Poland. Not. Oh, you're not from Poland. But point me out there. Okay, I don't know. So anyway, so yeah, I'll check out Jury Duty. That's funny. That sounds funny. And I'll tell you, like some of these shows, I get a lot of people who come in, they think that's the way the world works, because they saw a show and they think that that's, how juries work or whatnot. I'll tell you later if not was. Oh, I'm not. You're weird Shiite. I know, it's weird. I'm sorry that I'm a weird guy. Maybe you don't speak English as your first language. That's something that Americans, we don't really speak more than one language. You speak Spanish, you speak English. Some people are bilingual, they speak both. But by and on the large, Americans only learn English in schools, which is different than maybe in European countries. Maybe you learn Polish and you learn English. You can speak both. There's like a lot of guys and gals out there in Poland who do a lot of like sales marketing into the United States. They basically are calling people in the United States because people in the United States, our privacy laws are really lax. In other words, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're all allowed to sell our data to marketing companies and companies to sell us products. And in Europe, you can't do that. There's like privacy laws. So I often I spoke to a guy in Poland just last month who's from the UK, and he expatriated to Poland, and he has a Polish wife, and he lives out in the countryside, and he's selling Audience Lab. He's selling a targeting service where the targeting service claims that they can find people who have been on competitors' websites, and they can target them specifically, people who have been on competitors' websites in the last 10 days or 5 days or 24 hours or whatever. And then you can run ads on just those people. So you can do that in the United States legally. In Europe, you cannot do that. You cannot sell that data. And now I don't know under what law, but there is a privacy law. Now, we do have disclosures we're supposed to put on our website that say, hey, we're collecting your data and we're going to resell it. But, people just click yes or whatnot, or people don't even put that on the site. They just move on with their lives. So, yeah, Trump's indicted again. That's what we're discussing today. Of course, I already went through that. I actually had the indictment up right here. There was a guy named Nata, who was a member of the United States Navy, who was moving boxes around at Mar-a-Lago, according to this indictment. And basically, trying to obstruct the investigation of the grand jury that was looking into, But are you guys in the UK subject to the General Data Protection Regulation, or is that something that you Brexited out of? See, I'm not quite sure exactly if Brexit fully took place. I heard that there's still some things that are together. And I only say that, I don't know, Oh, man. Well, look, I'm also streaming on Facebook. I'm also streaming on YouTube. I'm also streaming on Twitter. Because Twitter has a stream. Because I use a, here we go. Oh, there it is. Cool. Because Twitter has a streaming thing now where you can directly hook it up. It's got 24. I've had 24 views on Twitter. I don't know if those are real-time views or how they do it, because this is live right here. Yeah, I do have some viewers. They're not saying anything. Yeah, it's a bureaucratic nightmare. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Sounds like a total bureaucratic nightmare, like what's happening, when you have all these people fighting. Just get something through that works for, everybody's got their own opinion about how things should be run, right? You know. Well, look, it's 4:30. I really appreciate both of you coming onto my stream and hanging out. And that's moronic whistle. Moronic whistle. So, what does that even mean? Okay. Yeah, Trump took documents and held them over. So when you're the president of the United States, you're supposed to give back the documents to the National Archive. You're supposed to give them to the next administration so that they can carry on their duties and keep secret. Because the United States has a lot of secrets, right? I mean, like, got a lot of secrets. So those things are supposed to be kept secret. Well, Trump held a bunch of the boxes at Mar-a-Lago in Florida, which is his like domiciled home and resort. And he was telling the FBI that he didn't have any boxes through his lawyer. And it turns out that they knew they had them. So they went in there and they raided them and they found a bunch of boxes of stuff. Now, all the Republicans are like, oh, well, so what? Obama kept boxes. George W. Bush kept boxes. All the prior presidents kept stuff. And you're not indicting them. It's just a political witch hunt. But he wasn't cooperating like the other presidents did. The other presidents met with the FBI when they found those documents. Apparently, like, Biden had some documents in his garage in Philadelphia or something. But he, says like, oh, I made a mistake and here they are. He didn't lie. He didn't have the lawyers come and lie to the FBI. And he didn't show them to other people and do all this other stuff that they're alleging Trump did. So I don't know. I know people who are big Trump supporters. I also know people who are never Trumpers, that they'll never vote for Trump despite the fact that they're Republicans. And then I mostly know Democrats because I live in California and Democrats are the majority of the makeup of the state that I'm in. Now, I am a no party preference voter. Los Angeles, yeah. I'm a no party preference voter, which means that I don't affiliate with either party because I'm sick of both parties. And I voted mostly for Democrats because that's mostly what we have here in California, Democrats. I may vote for a Republican. I may decide to put someone who's just a little outside of the general political track person. I'll vote for them. They won't win because I'm a no party preference and I refuse to be bound by a party. But there's no way I'm going to say, hey, I'm not a big Trump supporter. Let's put it that way. I voted for Biden. And even though I didn't want to vote for Biden, it was just too hard. Trump, he's got so much baggage and there's so many things that he did. So many things that he said. And he's just not presidential material, in my opinion. We need somebody better. Plus, he didn't get a lot done. I didn't feel that Trump did a lot. I feel like his policies, what were they? What did he really do? He wasn't a great administrator. Like, people think, oh, I like his policies. It's like, but did he implement any of those policies well? He tweeted a lot, exactly. So it's like I was talking to a Trump supporter, and I said, I was talking to a Republican who says that he liked Trump's policies but disliked his character. And I was like, well, you mean what he espoused as his policies on Twitter? You liked those. But did he do any of those things that he said he was going to do? The answer is no. And I think that like Joe Biden has done a lot of the things that Trump said he was going to do. Don't quote me on that. I got to go look into it. But I think that like things are actually happening domestically. And on the foreign fronts, we got the war in Ukraine, which the Republicans are like totally against. They think that it would never have happened if Trump was the president. They think that Putin would have been appeased. They wouldn't have done this. That it's somehow mixed up in the Hunter Biden deal with Burisma and all that stuff that went down when Trump got impeached. They view all that as like all one thing. And that it was I don't know. I can't say if we would be in this war or not if it weren't for Trump or Biden. I don't know. Maybe people in UK, they're pretty pro-war, from what I understand. I mean, it's been like the UK has been a big supporter of this war with Russia. The UK is an interesting place. I don't know, maybe you have an opinion. But anyway, so the Trump indictment, they're saying, and I heard this from my wife, who told me briefly while I was at lunch today, that apparently, yeah, supporting the Ukrainians. Yes, of course. Well, I also support the Ukrainians. I'm not against Ukraine. And I think, it sucks what's happening. But my wife told me that Trump, the judge that Trump has for this indictment is a Trump-appointed judge. So that's that. This federal judge in the United States District, the Southern District of Florida, was appointed by Donald J. Trump himself. It's not going to say it on here, but look at this indictment, dude. It's 44 pages long. There'll be other people online that are like going through this like page by page, spending their entire day analyzing this bad boy. If you want to read the indictment, I mean, you can find it online. How do I get to my stream? Uh-oh. Can you not put links in here? Oh, yeah, because there's no comments on Twitch. Look, there's tips. Tips are appreciated. Okay, so hey, Moronic Whistle, since you're still here, thank you for participating with me. How did you come up with your screen name? I imagine that you have some joke where there was somebody that you saw making the most moronic whistle, and you were like, "Oh, that's my name now." I don't know why. Yeah. Okay, so it's your old Xbox default name. Yeah, I what was mine? Dude, it's been so many years, I haven't kept mine. But yeah, going back like 10, 15 years, I probably had some name like that. Moronic Whistle, that's pretty good. It's not bad. But look, hey, we're done discussing the Trump indictment. I'm going to sign off now and go home. And I hope that you follow my channel and that you cruise by, because I'll talk about more legal stuff and we can, hang out. And there's a third person in this particular stream now. And, oh, that's maybe me. I'm in the stream. If I close that, what will it do? No, it's still 3. It doesn't count me. Okay. Who else is here? Let's talk. The 3 people besides me. Okay. Oh. It's 12:35 in the morning, so I will try. Don't you go to bed? It's time to go to sleep. I won't be back on until Monday, so I'm going to go home. I probably have work I have to do. This room back here was a cubicle room. So I had a lot more employees before the pandemic. And what happened with the pandemic is like nobody came in anymore. So my office is like half staffed. So that's what's going on here. So I got this really cool big room. Oh. Look how big it is. All of this stuff I brought in here, a lot of this stuff was in. Any of them claim? Oh yeah, yeah. I've had claims. Oh yeah. I mean, once you work here and you know how to do it. So it's funny. I have an employee who did a claim on me, and cumulative trauma, what we call a cumulative trauma claim, which basically means you get injured over time from repetitive work activities. So I don't know if you have that in the UK, but it's different than a specific injury. But if you're working repetitively for many years, like typing on keyboards, you get carpal tunnel, you get neck issue. I've represented people who are like mortgage officers and they have a neck surgery. It's legitimate. They've been like on the phone for like 20 years or whatever. So I've had those. I had really good insurance and I got a claim and I got kicked off of my insurance. So I bought new insurance. The new insurance is less expensive than the old insurance that I have. So I actually saved money on my premiums due to the workers' comp claim that I got at my firm against me. So I am not upset about that claim. Plus, I represent injured workers. Am I allowed to be upset because somebody thought they got hurt at work? I think that would be kind of that would be ironic or something like that. It's like, oh, you make all of your money, representing people who are claiming injuries at work, and then when someone gets hurt at your work, you just deny it. Now, that would be wrong, I think. All right, Moronic Whistle, I'm going to head out, go home. Doesn't look like anybody else is in the stream, but I really appreciate your participation. And I'll be back here on Monday about the same time. So if you're up at 12 o'clock in the morning and 12 o'clock in the morning? Oh, yeah, because it's like, dude, I don't understand these time differences that well. I know that it's 12 a.m., so it's the morning. It's late. Oh, well, say hello to your dad, too. Yeah, anyway, okay, Moronic Whistle, I'm going to take off now. And tell your dad to hop on next time and ask me he can't ask any legal questions. He lives in the UK. I'm sorry, I can't help you there. Common law came from England or the UK, right? So there are similarities in how the UK and the American systems are structured when it comes to negligence laws and other things like that, because all that stuff arises from what we took here. Americans borrowed a lot of that. America borrowed a lot of that. Right. Hey, England used to be a big naval power. Still is a big naval power. They'll always be okay. It's an island nation. It has natural barrier protection from attack. Can't say you guys don't grow a lot of food, though. Might have to rely on the United States for your food. But don't worry, we'll get you. I mean, you do grow a lot of food in the UK. I don't know. We grow a lot in the United States, though. I'll tell you that. So if things start going down there in Europe, and, we'll see. Okay, Moronic Whistle, I'm going to take off. Good talking to you. Really appreciate it. Everybody else out there, good night, good evening, and I'll see you next time. Monday. That's when it's going to be. Monday at about 4:30 my time. About 12:30 Moronic Whistle's time.